What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the Bossman Show, you see the new head coach, Cleveland State Vikings, Coach Rob Simmons from the Bossman Show. Coach, good to talk to you, man. How's life been the Vikings head coach now, brother?
Oh, man, I was drinking out of a fire hose for about 2-3 weeks there, but it's died down a little bit, but it's been good, man. I've been very blessed, man. It's been a whirlwind of I think a month now, man. So it's been but it's awesome. It's awesome. It's great to be back.
100% coaching for you, man. This job opening came opening, man, for you. Coach Robinson moves on to North Texas. So talk about just the thought of your mind, knowing you've been there before, had success there as an assistant coach, to know somewhere you know very well, you know the people, the administration. So how cool was it to kind of come home, per se?
It was great to come home. I mean, Ohio's home for me, and I was raised in Columbus, Ohio, and to come here at Cleveland State and be here with Dennis Gates and to do those special things we did for those 3 years that we were here. When I saw that Coach D. Rob was taking that opportunity in North Texas, I was like, man, it's just a no-brainer for me. Just to be a head coach somewhere that I know about winning. I've helped build the program up, and we started the ball rolling here for Cleveland State basketball to be a premier program.
No doubt. And you have success there when you're talking to a recruit and their parents in the portal or a JUCO guy or a high school guy, if you recruit those young men, hey, I know what it takes to win at this school. So talk about having that institutional knowledge of success that a parent can say, hey, well, Coach Summers, he knows what it takes to win there. If my kid comes there and buys into the program, he'll be successful as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times when coaches recruit players, it's a lot of just words. So they talk about things like we're gonna build this thing up and we're gonna win championships and we're gonna do this, and this is a program they're just brand new to. So for me to come back to somewhere that we have won championships at, that we did have a 3.4 GPA, that we did put all conference guys in, that we did have defensive players of the year. Those are things that I'm not just going around saying words. Those are things I've been a part of, and I've been a part of here at Cleveland State.
Man, let me ask you this question, man. I know you've been a head coach previously at D2 level, so how's it cool to be back in the big chair again, man? And talk about experience as a head coach at D2 to help you now as things have changed now, sitting in this D1 chair as a head coach.
It's good to be back in that head coaching chair, but I talk with Coach Gates probably every day. To be honest, I took in the job, and I was like, man, Coach just got a lot on my plate today. And sorry, getting back to you, he said, yeah, see, one of those problems that you kept on talking about getting back to going back to that head coaching chair. He's like, these are the problems that you're gonna have, but they're good problems. To be able to run your own program, be a CEO of a program, and to lead. I put together a great staff, so. I think that's one thing that I really knocked the ball out of the park with this time around is I put together just an all-star staff. I got guys that have head coaching experience, guys that have been head junior college coaches, guys that have been associate head coaches of Division I programs and rebuilt even with D1 programs and went to the NCAA tournament. I got former D1 head coaches on, D1 head coach on my staff, high major assistant on my staff. So to have those different things, player development guys that are just awesome at what they do, it makes my job a lot easier. And I think I learned that from my time as D2 head coach is you can't really, micromanage. And I think I didn't do a great job of that. I wanted to put my hands all over everything because just being a head coach for the first time, I was like, man, I get to just run everything. And I get to run the offense and the defense and substitution patterns and player development. And I get to book the hotels and I get to decide when the bus leaves. It was all those things that, when I was, 28, 29 years old that I was just excited about. And I didn't do a great job of just, having my staff and telling my staff, hey, this is what you guys are good at. I trust you. Go do it. So this time around, I've really, really focused on that. And so far it's been phenomenal for me.
I know what you mean. Trust me. My dad was a former coach, so I know how my dad was. He had to with that. He talked to me about the same thing, not having to let go of some of his babies per se, and let others take control of the helm and not be so hands on. So my dad talked about that all the time with his coaching experience as well. So what you're saying sounds so familiar to me.
Yeah, it's very true.
No doubt. And man, this coach, man, for you, man, building this program out with these prime players now, this seems like you're kind of even in a JUCO world now, having to change teams every year where you don't know you're going to have it. So kind of having a one-year team per se, not better to really build a program where you want to, with so many guys will be able to move whenever they want to now.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty, the beauty and some of the frustration behind the portal. You're able to, a guy like myself who comes in and puts together a brand new team is able to do so and do so at a high level. I think we put together a really, really high level program team here at Cleveland State in this past month. And I think before, without the portal, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You'd have to go out and get some high school kids, and you probably have been a little younger. Just took some junior college guys, but with the portal and how we have it now, you're able to go out and get some Division I transfers. Get some junior college kids, supplement a little, get maybe one or two high school kids. But, it's the nature of the beast now is you get old, stay old. Get old, stay old, and you win games. You look at a team like Auburn last year, being the SEC, their average age was higher than OKC's roster. So starting lineup, they were older programs. So you want to be older. Can you get frustrated? Yeah, I think there's certain coaches, when you're stuck in the old ways, you're not able to adapt. You can get a little bit frustrated. But I think that it's like Blockbuster. You don't see too many Blockbusters around. If you're stuck with a Blockbuster card in your hand, man, you ain't download Netflix. You're in a bad situation.
Card in my old wallet, brother. I think I have my card in my old wallet. I never used it in years, but I still got the old card I used to have, man. It's funny right there. It really is. It brings back memories, man. And this summer, having a whole new team, coach. So, and when you get your guys on campus for the summer, is it going to be more just player development? Or are you going to try to put some stuff in early so it's not so much you have to cram in come fall semester?
The way we have a player development plan. So I think a lot of coaches, they'll tell you how they're going to get you. They say they're going to get you better. Say, you come to Cleveland State, we're going to get you better, and they don't really show you. So one good thing though that we've done well at Missouri, and we're going to do here at Cleveland State as well, is we have a player development plan. So we'll spend the first 2-3 weeks of our summer just really about the individualized skill development of them. And then we have that mapped out, with our drill bank, and we'll be able to document that well. And then we'll work over to the second part of our summer, and our second part of our summer will be more of our team-based stuff. So then we'll start talking about how we're going to play offensively, how we're going to play defensively. Still working on this individualized skills, but that second part of the summer is just going to be a lot more focused on how we're going to play, because we're going to play different offensively than anybody in the league, has played. So, and then differently than a lot of these guys have played as well. So I really want to get them focused in on how we're going to play as a program on that side of the basketball, so that when we get to the fall time, it kind of just it becomes seamless to transition over to that.
Coach, for you, how has the Horizon League changed since you last in the Horizon League? As you probably try to look at some film and see what you got to kind of up against, how's it kind of changed in your mind from afar to coming back into it?
You got some new head coaches. You got Coach Faulkner. You got Youngstown when Jared Calhoun left to go to Utah State, but he's assistant for him. Obviously Clinton down at Wright State. When Coach Nagy left out, he got promoted from within. So you have some new coaches. Coach Monty that's up in Detroit. So again, there's some. Campy's always going to be, at Oakland. I don't think Campy's going anywhere. You got Andy over there, Rob Morris. So, he did a great job last year. And I think that, this league has great coaches in it, top to bottom. I don't know how much it's changed as far as, it's always been a tough, gritty league, a league that's, defensive, a lot more defensive minded than most. They don't get up and run as up and down as other leagues do. But again, a tough league, a league that gets a lot of high major bounce backs, D1 transfers. It's an older league. I think that's what people don't understand is like there's a lot of teams in our league that got fifth year, starting 3, 4, 5th-year guys. So I think that the way our coaches in our league operate is they all want to get old, stay old. So you have to be able to compete against that. But the league, again, from top to bottom, it's always been a tough league. It's been a league that, I've always respected, being from Ohio and knowing the teams that are within here. So to be coming back to it, I definitely have a work cut out for me.
No doubt. And then Coach Advanskis, man, there are a lot of guys going to call you to schedule games right now. They don't know about you. So it's guys trying to get you on the schedule right now, brother.
Hey, it's a new head coach, man. I'm not young, but it's funny because everyone's like, oh, let's make this game, let's get this game done. It makes sense, and I'm like, no, it makes sense for you. It don't make sense for me. I gotta trust me. It's my first rodeo. I've been dealing with scheduling. I've been listening to everyone like, yeah, let's play. So I try to see try to see what our schedule's going to pan out with. We're almost done, so I think that's a good thing about it. So you don't get those random calls of people like that are trying to schedule a first year head coach in the Division I realm and on the road. So I'm smart enough to know what games to take and what games we probably need to push off to next year or something along those lines.
No doubt, but I figured that you'll be hitting up like crazy. So your first year coach, I know how you dudes operate, man. And let me ask you, Coach, for you, what point in your playing career did you think that you'll get into coaching, man? I know you was a player, so at what point do you think you'll take this path to coaching and point into young men?
Oh man, to be honest, I never knew I wanted to coach. I say it all the time. It's been recruits come in and we've had a bunch of official visits here, and I'm telling them like, look, I never knew I wanted to coach. I wanted to play for as long as possible. I'm 7 foot tall, so being 7 foot, and I just want to be a hooper. I just wanted to go to league. I wanted to play overseas, and make a lot of money, and then maybe be a sports agent. I ended up taking my LSAT. I was going to try to go to Stanford. I had applied to go to Stanford. I took my LSAT, and I actually got accepted. And I ended up going back to West Virginia and GA, down there with Coach Huggins. And when I was with him for that year, he was like, man, the guys really gravitate towards you, man. I was like, I'm just talking to them like I wanted to be talked to. When they're doing something, they're not doing something right. I just wanted somebody to come down and talk to me about it and, not really scream and yell at me, but explain to me what I was doing wrong and why I need to be doing something different. So he was like, man, that really might be your calling, man, to get in this coaching thing. And, the more I thought about it, the more I was around the guys, the more I really enjoyed, that development piece of it. I wanted it to be transformational with the guys, so I wanted to make, and not transactional, because I felt like when I was a player, it was a business. It's still a business now, like NIL and all those things. But I really felt like, man, they're just using me for wins, and I didn't want to feel like that. So as a young black man, I was like, man, let me try to help these guys out a little bit, and that's kind of where this crazy last 16 years have been leading me to.
Happy for your success, man. I remember you was on Coach Gates' staff the first time around. I was happy at the job, man. So when I come to Cleveland again, we gotta get together, man, and link up. I'm gonna get your number offline as well, brother. But I'm happy for you as a young brother getting the job, and he did this D1 Waters, man. I'll be cheering for you, my guy.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. I remember when you hit me up and asked me to do the interview, man. I remember when you did one with Coach Gates, man. So I remember that was a high level talk, man. So I said, oh yeah, for sure. I definitely got to hop on my man, boss man. I got to get on there with you.
No doubt, I hear you, brother. I try to do a good job for you guys. I'm trying to make sure y'all got to look good, man. That's my role there.
Hey, please do maybe Photoshop me some hair on top of my head in post production or something, man. I got this baldy over here. It might give me a hair unit or something. They'll be right.
All right, but I got you, man.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z. Sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews. You name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.